You've been through this. You're sleeping peacefully, and suddenly you wake up with that urgent need to go to the bathroom. At first, it happens occasionally. Then it becomes every night. And before you know it, you're getting up 2, 3, even 4 times a night. This situation has a name, Nocturia. And don't think you're alone. According to international studies, over 50% of people aged 60 and older worldwide suffer from this problem. In older age groups, this number can reach 80%. In other words, almost all elderly people at some point face this challenge. But what few people know is that, in most cases, these nighttime trips to the bathroom aren't just a consequence of aging. There are many daily habits, seemingly harmless, that force your body to produce more urine at night. And worse, this interrupted sleep has serious health consequences. Waking up multiple times a night increases the risk of falls and fractures. It harms the heart. It disrupts hormones. And it impairs memory, reasoning, and proper brain function. Over time, the person feels more tired, discouraged, and even depressed. But there's good news. Today, in this video, I'll show you the main mistakes many older adults make every day that cause the body to produce more urine at night. If you stop doing these things, you can return to sleeping more soundly and safely. So, take this moment to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to receive more health guidance videos, always based on science and explained simply, like a good conversation between doctor and patient. Now, let's get to the first point, and pay attention. You might be making some of these mistakes right now without realizing it. Good sleep is one of the foundations of health. It's during sleep that the body recovers, the brain organizes memories, and the immune system strengthens. But for millions of older adults worldwide, the simple act of sleeping becomes a constant battle. Nocturia, the medical term for these nighttime bathroom trips, affects a huge portion of the elderly population. Data from large studies show that more than half of men and women over 60 suffer from it. In people over 70 or 80, the problem becomes even more frequent. And it's not just the annoyance of having to get up. Every time sleep is interrupted, the body can't complete deep rest cycles. This affects mood, concentration, physical balance, and cardiovascular health. Over time, it increases the risk of high blood pressure, heart problems, and even dementia. Additionally, each nighttime trip to the bathroom carries a risk of falling. And falls in the elderly are one of the leading causes of serious fractures, hospitalizations, and loss of independence. In other words, waking up multiple times a night isn't just a discomfort, it's a real risk factor for health and quality of life. But the most important thing is to understand that, most of the time, this doesn't happen just because the person is aging. There are causes, and especially habits, that favor urine production at night. They're simple daily actions that end up disrupting the body's natural functioning. In the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly what's happening in your body. And more importantly, you'll discover what you can start doing today to break this cycle. Now, let's move on to understand why the body insists on waking you up during the night. For many, it seems like the body loses control as the years pass. But there's an explanation for this. And understanding what's happening helps find the right solutions. During the day, the kidneys produce urine in a balanced way. But at night, the body should naturally reduce this production. This mechanism is regulated by hormones, like vasopressin, also called antidiuretic hormone. It works by reducing the amount of urine produced while we sleep, so sleep isn't interrupted. The problem is that, with aging, vasopressin production decreases. The body starts producing more urine at night, forcing the person to wake up to empty the bladder. Additionally, other factors come into play. The bladder's capacity may be somewhat smaller in some older adults. Its sensitivity increases, meaning even small amounts of urine trigger that urgent feeling. There are also circulation issues. During the day, some fluids may accumulate in the legs, especially in people with varicose veins or venous insufficiency. When lying down, this fluid returns to circulation, is filtered by the kidneys, and turns into urine overnight. Finally, some diseases also contribute, like diabetes, heart problems, and prostate issues in men. But even those without these conditions can suffer from nocturia due to daily habits that increase urine production without the person realizing it. The good news is that, by identifying these factors, you can adopt simple changes to help control the problem. And many of these changes depend only on behavioral adjustments. Now, let's talk about one of the most common mistakes many people make every day: the habit of drinking fluids right before bed. The trap of the glass of water before bed. Many people have the habit of drinking a glass of water before going to bed. Some even believe it's beneficial, that it prevents cramps, dehydration, or helps the body at night. But for those suffering from nocturia, this small gesture can be one of the main saboteurs of sleep. When we drink fluids right before bed, we give the body extra water to process. The kidneys keep working, filtering this liquid and turning it into urine. Since the aging body already has more difficulty concentrating urine during sleep, this excess fluid increases production and, consequently, the need to urinate at night. Of course, staying hydrated is essential for health. But the ideal is to consume most fluids during the day, especially in the early hours. By reducing fluid intake in the late afternoon and evening, we decrease the amount of urine the body needs to eliminate at night. It's also important to watch other fluids besides water. Juices, teas, soups, and even water-rich fruits like watermelon or oranges, when consumed close to bedtime, can have the same effect. A good strategy is to set a cut-off time for fluid intake in the evening. For most people, avoiding large volumes of fluids 2 to 3 hours before bed already makes a significant difference. In the next sections, we'll see that it's not just water causing this problem. There are foods and substances in your daily life that also stimulate urine production and disrupt sleep. Now, let's talk about some innocent foods that, in practice, are sabotaging your rest. Often, what we eat during the day, especially at night, can directly impact how many times we wake up to urinate. And the curious thing is that many of these foods are considered healthy but can act as hidden diuretics. One of the biggest culprits is sugary foods. When we consume large amounts of sugar, especially close to bedtime, the body needs to balance blood glucose levels. This process increases urine production as a way to eliminate excess glucose and maintain the body's balance. Another group to watch is high-sodium foods, i.e., salty ones. Processed meats, packaged foods, salty cheeses, and ready-made meals contain large amounts of salt. Excess sodium alters how the body regulates fluids, leading to more urine production at night. Water-rich fruits like watermelon, pineapple, and oranges can also contribute. Though healthy, when consumed in large quantities at night, they give the body extra fluids to eliminate while you sleep. Let's not forget alcohol. Many people have a glass of wine or beer at night to relax. However, alcohol has a diuretic effect. It makes the body eliminate water faster, overloading the kidneys and increasing the need to urinate at night. So, what seems like a light meal or a small nighttime snack may, in practice, be contributing to nocturia. A balanced diet, with less sugar, less salt, and controlled fluid intake at night, can be a simple but powerful change to improve sleep quality. Now, let's talk about an even sneakier factor that goes unnoticed by many: hidden caffeine in everyday foods and drinks. Hidden caffeine, where you'd never expect it. Most people associate caffeine only with coffee. And indeed, coffee is one of its biggest sources. But what many don't realize is that caffeine is present in many other foods and drinks, and may be one of the reasons you wake up at night to go to the bathroom. Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant. Besides making sleep harder, it also has a diuretic effect. In other words, it increases urine production and encourages nighttime bathroom trips. Besides coffee, caffeine is found in many other sources. Black and green tea, for example, contains significant amounts. Many people, seeking a healthier option, switch from coffee to these teas without realizing they're still consuming a bladder-stimulating substance. Sodas, especially colas, also contain caffeine. Even some flavored sparkling waters and energy drinks have it. And chocolate, especially dark, can contain enough caffeine to interfere with sleep and urine production in sensitive individuals. A common mistake is consuming these foods and drinks in the late afternoon or evening, thinking caffeine's effects wear off quickly. However, caffeine can stay in the body for hours. For some, its effects last 6 to 8 hours or more, depending on sensitivity and liver metabolism. So, a simple and effective tip is to limit caffeine to mornings and early afternoons. By bedtime, most of it will have been processed, reducing the risk of waking up to urinate. Now, let's discuss another common habit among older adults, often believed to be beneficial but potentially harmful to sleep: drinking diuretic teas before bed. Diuretic teas, the common mistake of the natural remedy. Many people seek natural alternatives to improve health. Among older adults, tea consumption is very common. Chamomile, fennel, peppermint, hibiscus, horsetail, dandelion. There are countless options promising various benefits, like relaxation, better digestion, or improved circulation. However, what many don't realize is that some of these teas have a diuretic effect. They increase urine production, and when consumed late in the day or at night, they directly contribute to nocturia. For example, horsetail and dandelion teas are known for their diuretic effects. They stimulate the kidneys to produce more urine. Even milder herbal teas, when consumed in large quantities, provide extra fluid the body will need to eliminate at night. Another important detail: since tea is liquid, besides the plant's active compounds, the water volume itself increases the risk of waking up to urinate. Often, the intention is good. The person drinks tea before bed, thinking it will relax them and improve sleep, but it ends up having the opposite effect: sleep interrupted multiple times at night. The solution isn't to eliminate teas entirely but to choose wisely which ones to drink and when. If having a calming tea like chamomile or fennel, it's best to do so a few hours before bed and in small amounts. Now, let's discuss a crucial point: the natural changes in the bladder with aging and how they can encourage nighttime bathroom trips. The impact of an overactive bladder with aging. Over the years, it's not just sleep that changes. The bladder also undergoes natural functional changes. And one of the most common conditions among older adults is an overactive bladder. An overactive bladder happens when the bladder muscle, called the detrusor, starts contracting involuntarily, even with little urine stored. These contractions create that sudden, urgent need to urinate immediately. And at night, this overactivity can be a main reason for frequent awakenings. Additionally, the bladder's functional capacity may shrink with aging. Even if physically the same size, its ability to hold urine without discomfort may decrease. So, the urge to urinate comes sooner, even with small volumes. Another important factor is gradual loss of sensitivity. In some, the bladder starts sending signals to the brain more frequently or intensely, even when there's no real need to empty it. The result is constant waking at night. An overactive bladder can also be worsened by other health issues, like recurring UTIs, neurological diseases, medication side effects, and, in men, benign prostate enlargement. The key here is understanding that bladder aging doesn't mean nocturia is inevitable. Behavioral measures, pelvic floor exercises, bladder training techniques, and, in some cases, medical treatments can help control the problem. Now, let's discuss one of the most dangerous and often overlooked health factors linked to increased nighttime urine production: the connection between diabetes and frequent nighttime bathroom trips. Diabetes is one of the most common chronic diseases worldwide, especially among older adults. And what many don't realize is how directly it can be tied to waking up multiple times at night to urinate. When diabetes isn't well controlled, blood sugar levels remain high. The body then tries to eliminate excess glucose through urine, a process called glycosuria. This excess sugar attracts water to the kidneys, increasing urine production. That's why one of the first signs of uncontrolled diabetes is increased thirst and frequent urination, day and night. Additionally, diabetes can damage the nerves controlling the bladder, a condition called diabetic neuropathy. When this happens, bladder sensitivity may decrease, leading to trouble fully emptying it or holding urine, causing constant nighttime awakenings. Another key point is that many people have prediabetes without obvious symptoms, but it's already altering these mechanisms. So, frequent nocturia can sometimes be an early warning sign of glucose metabolism issues. Good diabetes control, with proper diet, exercise, and medical care, not only improves overall health but can also significantly reduce nighttime urination episodes. Now, let's move to another common but often ignored factor: excessive salt consumption, which may also be behind your nighttime bathroom trips. How excess salt makes you get up at night. Salt is so present in our diets that we often don't realize how much we're consuming daily. But excess salt has a direct link to increased urine production and, consequently, waking up at night to go to the bathroom. When we consume too much salt, the body must balance sodium and water levels in cells and blood. To prevent dangerously high sodium levels, it retains more water during the day. But at night, when lying down and circulation works differently, the body starts eliminating this excess fluid, meaning more urine production just when you're trying to sleep. Additionally, excessive salt intake is linked to high blood pressure, which can also affect kidneys and bladder function long-term. Over time, the renal system becomes overworked, further contributing to nighttime urine production. The problem is that salt isn't just in the shaker. Processed foods, canned goods, deli meats, salty cheeses, and even bread and cakes can contain significant sodium. Often, people exceed daily limits just with regular meals, unaware. Reducing salt intake not only helps control blood pressure and protect the heart but can also significantly decrease how often you need to get up at night to urinate. Now, let's discuss another often overlooked factor with a big impact: the misuse of diuretic medications. The trap of poorly adjusted diuretic medications. Diuretics are widely used, especially by those with high blood pressure, heart failure, or leg swelling. They help the body eliminate excess fluid, reducing blood volume and, consequently, blood pressure. But if not properly adjusted, they can be major sleep disruptors, especially in older adults. Diuretics' basic effect is simple. They make kidneys filter blood faster, producing more urine. This works well during the day, but if the timing isn't planned, the effects can spill into the night. For example, many take diuretics in the late afternoon or even at night, either forgetting or due to poor guidance. As a result, the medication's peak effect happens just when trying to sleep, forcing multiple bathroom trips. Another key detail: with aging, the body may take longer to metabolize medications. So, diuretics act longer, further increasing nighttime urination risk. Whenever possible, with your doctor's approval, take diuretics and other urine-increasing medications in the morning or early afternoon. This way, their main effect occurs while awake, reducing sleep disruption. Never adjust medication timing or dosage on your own. Always consult your doctor. Often, a simple timing change can make a huge difference in sleep quality and nighttime awakenings. Now, let's address another powerful, often silent factor: the impact of stress and anxiety on nighttime bathroom trips. The influence of nighttime stress and anxiety. Often, it's not just the body's physical functioning causing nighttime awakenings to urinate. Emotional state also plays a big role. Stress, anxiety, and daily worries can directly affect bladder function and sleep. When anxious or stressed, the body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These prepare the body for alertness, increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and kidney blood flow. This can boost urine production even at night. Additionally, anxiety hinders the relaxation needed for deep sleep. The brain becomes more sensitive to small stimuli, and any bladder sensation, even with little urine, feels urgent enough to wake up. Another key aspect is the Nocturia vicious cycle. The person wakes to urinate, gets frustrated about lost sleep, starts thinking about problems, and by the time they return to bed, anxiety is high enough to make falling back asleep hard. The cycle repeats night after night. That's why relaxation and stress management techniques are crucial. Activities like meditation, deep breathing, light walks, calm reading, and pre-sleep routines can calm the nervous system, promoting more continuous, less interrupted sleep. Now, let's explore a factor directly involved in urine production control that also changes with aging: the role of hormones in nighttime urine production. Hormonal balance directly influences almost all body functions, including nighttime urine control. With aging, some natural hormonal shifts start favoring nocturia. One key hormone here is vasopressin, or antidiuretic hormone. It signals the kidneys to reduce urine production during sleep. This mechanism lets younger people sleep for hours without bathroom trips. However, as we age, vasopressin production usually decreases. With less of this hormone at night, kidneys keep filtering blood almost as if we were awake, producing more urine when the body should be resting. Besides vasopressin, other hormones influence fluid balance, like aldosterone and atrial natriuretic peptide, which regulate sodium and blood volume. Aging and disease-related changes in these can further disrupt this balance. In men, hormonal changes also involve the prostate. Gradual testosterone decline and benign prostate enlargement, very common in older age, can compress the urethra and make fully emptying the bladder harder, forcing multiple nighttime trips. In women, especially post-menopause, estrogen decline can weaken the pelvic floor and alter bladder function, increasing incontinence and nocturia. While these hormonal changes are part of aging, many can be monitored and managed with proper medical support. In some cases, hormonal treatments or habit changes can help reduce symptoms. Now that we've covered the factors contributing to nocturia, let's discuss something practical and highly effective: creating a daily routine that promotes deep sleep and reduces nighttime bathroom trips. After understanding all the factors that may cause nighttime awakenings to urinate, it's time to discuss something crucial: building a nighttime routine that promotes deep sleep and minimizes these interruptions. Many nocturia-related issues can be eased with simple daily adjustments. And this starts in the morning. First, it's important to stay well hydrated during the day but focus most fluid intake in the early hours. Avoiding large volumes in the last 3 hours before bed makes a big difference. The same goes for food. Light dinners, low in salt and sugar, help the body work more balanced at night. Avoid heavy or spicy foods in the evening. Another key point is medication timing. Whenever possible, with your doctor's approval, take diuretics and other urine-increasing medications in the morning or early afternoon. This way, their main effects won't disrupt sleep. Pre-sleep preparation is also essential. Avoid bright lights, electronics, and arguments before bed. Create a calm, dark bedroom to signal the brain it's time to rest. Relaxing practices like deep breathing, calm reading, soft music, or even a warm bath help the body transition into sleep. Keeping consistent sleep and wake times also helps. The body functions best with a stable sleep routine. And if you still need to get up at night, ensure safety. Keep the path to the bathroom well lit and obstacle-free to reduce fall risks. Now that you know the golden sleep routine, let's wrap up with practical techniques to further reduce nighttime urination. Now that you understand what may be happening in your body, it's time to implement simple but highly effective strategies that can start improving your nights today. The first technique is bladder training. It involves gradually increasing intervals between daytime bathroom trips. This helps train the bladder to hold more urine, reducing sensitivity and urgency. During the day, when you feel the urge, try waiting a few minutes before going. Start with small intervals, like 5 to 10 minutes, and gradually increase, respecting your limits without overdoing it. The second technique is pelvic floor exercises, aka Kegels. They strengthen the muscles controlling urination and improve bladder control in both men and women. The third strategy is elevating your legs in the late afternoon. If you have daytime leg swelling, lie down for about 30 minutes with legs slightly elevated. This helps accumulated fluid return to circulation while you're still awake, reducing the need to eliminate it at night. The fourth tip is avoiding long daytime naps. While a short 20 to 30-minute rest can be beneficial, long naps disrupt natural nighttime sleep cycles. Finally, keep a habit journal. Note fluid intake times, foods consumed, and nighttime awakenings. These notes help identify patterns and make it easier for your doctor to adjust treatment if needed. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone responds differently. The key is adjusting habits gradually, observing results, and seeking medical guidance when necessary. Now, let's conclude with a practical summary of everything we've covered and the next steps to improve your quality of life. As we've seen, waking up at night to urinate isn't just an inevitable part of aging. Often, it's daily habits, small choices, and even uncontrolled health issues that make the body produce more urine while you sleep. Together, we've identified the main culprits: excessive nighttime fluid intake, sugary and salty foods, misuse of teas and caffeine, hormonal changes, diuretic medication effects, stress and anxiety, and conditions like diabetes and bladder issues. The good news is that most of these causes can be managed with simple changes. Reduce evening fluid intake. Adjust medication timing with your doctor's guidance. Control salt, sugar, caffeine, and alcohol consumption. Establish a regular sleep routine and restful environment. Practice pelvic floor exercises and bladder training. Get medical checkups to assess hormones, prostate health, and diabetes control. Remember, quality sleep is vital for your health, energy, memory, and longevity. Don't ignore this issue. It may seem minor at first, but over time, it can seriously impact your quality of life. If this information was helpful, share this video with friends and family who might be facing this issue. Subscribe to the channel and enable notifications for more straightforward, science-based health content. Take care of your sleep. Take care of your health. Your body will thank you.